is not valued among elders most of the time.
For me personally, I've really opened up about my opinions to people and I've had them disregarded because I'm not experienced enough and I don't have maturity. But I know for a fact in certain things I do have an understanding that's bigger than whatever like my grandfather would know. So I think elders wise I do have somewhat of a broad understanding of stuff, but my elders don't respect my opinions as much as I respect theirs.
Teachers or relatives, sometimes there are days when they think that just because I'm younger to them or because I'm a child and I only have this many qualifications and my opinion does not matter as much as them just because they are more educated than I am, and I just think that's very unfair.
When at home, if I do have something to say, maybe it's not always agreed to, but I'm always heard. It doesn't mean I'm not disregarded. There's a sense of understanding that we are living in this world and we are in this generation, so there is a possibility that we may be better in the sense of current situation.
Say I say something to anyone older than me, sometimes they always stop me from doing things, or like they're like, no, I've been there, don't do it. Okay, so you've been there, you've made your mistake, you've learned from it, let me go through that mistake and learn myself. Why are teenagers always angry? Because we're always like, yeah, we're not allowed to do this. That's all that's going through our head, not that this is wrong. We have to go through it to know that it's wrong. That's my.
Last year, we teenagers, we did a project with like elders. Now with Corona, like it actually started this year. So we were going to do it, but basically it stopped. So then we were like, why don't we do this online? But then they were like, no, like that doesn't work. So we've been doing it the traditional way and it always works. Like online it won't work. Trust us, we know more than you. So that's basically, that's why I think when we talk, we don't actually get heard as much.
I am 100% happy with the way I look.
I'm a really insecure person. Like, I'm very insecure about the way I look, the way I walk, how I dress, everything. And I'm getting there to start loving myself.
At a point I was thinking I was surrounded by, not that meaning in a bad way, but I feel like when I look at my friends, I'm like, damn, they look good. Yeah. And I'm like, you being here, you're not a part of this crowd. And then every day at home, I'll be like, complaining, I'm getting fat, I'm getting dark, I'm getting ugly. Came to a point where I'm like, I don't even want to see me. Christianity is very based in my life, in my family. I feel like there's a point where God has told me that He has made His image and I should be happy about it. And so I changed the way I feel, but even if I look at me now, I think there are parts of me that I don't like, but then again I think it's up to me. It's up to me if I want to look good or not.
I think that was basically because of the situations. I was surrounded by lots of toxic people, I could say. And I think that coming out of that and actually working on myself and putting myself first over other stuff and prioritizing myself and coming out of that actually made me pretty confident of who I was as a person. If I was happy with who I am, then nothing anybody could say could actually harm me.
As a guy, at least for me, there are a lot of expectations. People expect me to have six packs, people expect me to have really nice muscles, people expect me to have really nice beard. Those days my parents would be like, okay, he doesn't eat as much, he just wastes food. Now they are like, you can afford not to eat anymore. And stuff like that really is stopping me from getting to 100% in my life at least.
I am very happy with how I am right now, but I'm not on the firmly agreeing side because there is definitely things that I can do to look better. So I can start gymming properly and I can get in a good shape.
There are so many unrealistic beauty standards, especially for girls and women. Like, they're supposed to look curvy, they're supposed to have an hourglass figure, they're supposed to not have any acne supposedly, and there are just so many unrealistic beauty standards that I'm finding difficult to meet. So that is why I somewhat disagree, because I just think it's going to take time, it's a good progress, but eventually we'll get there.
When dating, looks are as equally important as personality.
My relationship, for example, I don't think looks would have played a big role, and yeah. So I think looks don't really pay any importance in an actual relationship. You can see your mothers and fathers right now they don't maybe look that good. Maybe back then they didn't look that good. And right now they are together despite what they look like.
It's all about being like loyal, being honest, being caring and loving. I mean, I simply do not care even if he has like, I mean, it does not matter.
When you say looks, it depends on who you are. Like to you, looks can be a different type of look. Like you can like that. So basically, you're not going to go into a marriage with someone who you don't like how they look. Like if you don't like how they look, how can you marry that person? But that doesn't mean that she needs to follow the beauty standards of social media and what they say. Like she doesn't have to have an hourglass or whatever. There's nothing like that. You just have to be like attracted.
Scratch that. I'm going here. Scratch what I said before because I changed my mind.
Why?
Okay. So yeah, in my opinion, you need to be attracted to the person in a relationship. Like he or she should be hot in your mind. Like he doesn't have to be attractive. According to you, if he's attractive, that's all that matters, right?
I feel like, I don't know if being healthy falls into looking good category. I think that's more than saying look good with six packs and all that. I don't think it really matters, but being healthy matters.
So how I feel about it is I wouldn't necessarily get attracted to someone based on how they look. How the sort of things that I tend to get attracted to are like their qualities, what they value, their morals, how do they treat their inferiors. Those are the sort of things usually that I tend to get attracted to.
Social media is more of a blessing than a curse.
Like businesses, it's perfect. You can advertise like so well, but on the other thing, it's a very, very addictive thing, and also like basically they're like I think they like set like they give you information like there's a lot less in privacy.
Social media gives you so much of opportunities. Like you can be a TikTok star, you can be a YouTuber, you can like have your own thing and all of that and become like everything. Social media lets you do anything, even though there are negative points like getting addicted. That's up to you.
I'm here in the somewhat the real part because social media you can do anything. That's the issue. So I think so people who can't get access to social media, to them when people are progressing, to them social media would be a curse.
Every social media app, like let's look at Instagram, there's always a level of control, like screen time, even on your phone, there's always a level of control, and it's like, it's up to you whether you want to go there, and it's up to you if you want to reduce your screen time, it's up to you if you want, you know, it's up to you. And also I think right now this corona phenomenon, it's a real blessing.
My favorite part about social media is that it's basically a landscape to showcase your creativity. The negative side of social media is the reason that you could be more focused is because of the amount of hate you get. So no matter what you do, if people don't like you, they are definitely going to spread hate.
The hate is extremely, it's really hard because I'm a really oversensitive baby. I cry all the time. But you know, the hate I got get more strong. Like you could grow stronger and like you learn to handle all the hate that's thrown at you, and you learn to like power through it. So that's good.
I want to be rich and famous.
Personally, it's not that I like to be famous, but I like to be known because it's like my thing. Like I do drama, I do theatre and all of that. So like I'm being rich, but I know people say that money can't bring happiness, but I'd rather be crying in a villa rather than like in some other place, because like money does give you a lot of things to do. Like I mean, if I'm craving a bubble tea right now, I can go and get it. If I'm like sad, I can go and get a bubble tea.
Money is what drives everything. Clothes you wear, things you buy, money drives it. How renowned you are is what makes you famous, and that gives you a position in society. And each of us have subjective views on money, and we can all have our subjective values, but at the end of the day, to progress in life, you need money. If you look at a person who is homeless and a person who is in Hollywood, you can see a clear disparity in happiness, clear disparity in satisfaction, clear disparity in what they can get.
I think having money is one, being rich is another thing. If I look at me, then I know that God will always provide, and it just has to be enough. There is no you have to be rich. And like Himanshu said, you do stuff because you do drama and all that. Those are things you like to do. Whether you get famous from that or not is irrelevant.
Basically, from a young age, I've always had a thing about helping people in poverty, and I think that like by having money, like you could use it for good things as well.
On the fame side, like it's okay to be like famous, but once it's too much, like you have to live up to the expectations are not too high. It's like a small mistake, and there's so much hate coming on you saying, why did you do this, why did you do that?
You don't necessarily have to have money to help people. There's always so many other ways. Also, I think you will live here in this world and you don't take any of those money or the fame or anything that you get, because everybody gets buried in this earth, everybody goes to that and you're not going to take nothing. You're literally taking nothing.